Dashcams sometimes capture the scariest things, from attempted robberies to dangerous explosions. First though, let's take a look at what surprised a police officer at night with number 10. Small figure. Imagine you're driving down the road late at night listening to your tunes as you survey the area for work. Something odd suddenly appears and dashes straight for you and your car. It's a terrifying thought. However, that's precisely what happened to Deputy Jeremy Godney of the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office. It seemed to be a routine patrol, but there was a catch. What's terrifying isn't what ran towards him, but what could have happened. The figure he saw wasn't a ghost or some ill-intentioned stranger. It was a child. You heard me right, it was only a kid, barely out of infancy, who had slipped out of his family's front door and ran into the main road. Had the deputy not found and retrieved him, who knows what could have happened to the poor kid. Just seconds after he picked up the baby from in front of his bonnet, multiple trucks came passing by. What are the chances of the driver inside a tall vehicle noticing a munchkin? At least all was well in the end, and the child was returned safely to his frantically searching parents. Falling down. What are some of your worst nightmares when driving? Particularly when out in the countryside or when passing through a wooded area. As a driver myself, I gotta say it's having any large or tall structure falling on top of my car. Honestly, just the repair cost is a nightmare alone. But what if I don't make it out as well? What if I'm squished in the process? Either way, if it's shelling out more money, that's painful enough, but it'd be fine. But of course, I'd need to have a brain left. While what happened to this family wasn't as dire, they felt their hearts were ready to bust out of their chests. Multiple trees came crashing down, not just on the road, but on the hood of their car as well. Thankfully though, only the car was damaged and nobody inside was hurt. This phenomenon happened because of ground destabilization. It had frequently been raining in that area for a while, causing the trees to be rooted in softer soil. After one tree fell, it created a domino effect wherein more came crashing down. Highway robbery. No longer just an expression. Nobody wants to get robbed. Imagine having the rewards from all your hard work being forcefully taken from you. Not a good feeling for you, and it's horrifying when the other person has a weapon. In this case, a gun. This truckster was driving down the highway somewhere in Chile when the van in front of him slowed down. Two men came out of the vehicle, with one seemingly holding onto a firearm. Honestly, that's enough to activate someone's flight or fight response. Chances are, though, the robbers wouldn't have betted heavily that their victim would have chosen to be submissive. Not this trucker, though. The man hits the gas and slams into the van, freeing himself from the trap. Even when the robber tries to go back to stop the truck, he doesn't listen to them and takes it to the big freeway. Massive kudos to this trucker. He then immediately goes to the police and report what happened. Turns out the van was actually stolen, and the mystery duo likely wanted to take off with the truck too, but they messed with the wrong man. Heroic lady. Many of us have pets, and most would do anything to keep them safe. I mean, we've seen videos online of people returning for their pets despite flash floods or hurricanes coming straight towards their area. Yeah, well, this woman went through the closest manifestation of hell to go and try and save her horses. Remember the California wildfires last year? Well, our firefighters were desperately trying to limit the spread of the fire despite the danger to their own person. Then you also have people like this woman who braved the fiery inferno to get to the creatures that she loved. Some of you may think she's going overboard, but these animals are part of her family. While watching this video, I couldn't help but feel scared. Something gonna happen? Will she be okay? Well, thankfully, the coolant was strong enough to keep the engine cool the entire time. It's amazing that she can even see through the blaze. But you know what? Anyone who knows this woman is lucky. She's likely to stick up for you no matter how hard things get. Tianjin port explosion. What you are about to see is not a clip from some action or horror movie. This is dashcam footage taken about 1 kilometer away from the Tianjin explosion blast site. As you can see, it's as devastating as it sounds on media. August 12, 2015, explosions rocked the port of Tianjin in northern China. About 173 people died, according to official reports, and hundreds more were injured. News say the blast happened at a container storage station in the Binai area of the city, with the first two explosions happening 33 seconds apart. Based on this footage, that indeed seems to be the case. So what was in the container that caused this apocalyptic-like scene? Well, what detonated was about 800 tons of ammonium nitrate, which is the equivalent to about 256 tons of TNT. Makes more sense now when it's phrased like that, am I right? Authorities didn't immediately know what caused the explosions, but an investigation concluded that it was because of an overheated container. In the container was a bunch of dry nitrocellulose. On the hundreds dead, about 104 of them were firefighters, heroes who wanted to help. Dangerous area. Remember that trucker who fought back so he wouldn't get robbed? Well, turns out he's not the only one struggling with attempted robberies. This family had a close encounter over at Laredo, Mexico as well. At first, everything seemed pretty fine in this video. Families driving down the road to wherever they want or need to be. Takes a while, but soon the footage appears as though it's bouncing? While that's odd, the actual reason is far more sinister. It takes time, but you start to realize they're being rear-ended several times, probably to make the driver stop the car, get down, and inspect the damage. You know what's gonna happen if he did just that, which is why it's smart that he just ignored it the best he could and continued forward. While being rear-ended constantly is bound to get on anyone's nerves and fears, this was likely the best course of action the man had. Had he stopped, the people in the other car would have gotten down and done something to him. Worse, it might not just be the car he'd lose. Nowhere safe these days. Lightning strikes. Yeah, that's another big fear out on the road. Never mind the robbers, I'd act like the trucker and hit the gas. Insurance can cover my car. This though? Having lightning directly strike my car while I'm inside it? You guys are bound to find me in the local ER, either because of injuries sustained due to the lightning or me suffering from a severe panic attack. Mind you, that's if I survive the initial cardiac arrest. But yeah, you guys are seeing these clips correctly. Lightning indeed struck these two cars directly. Just fortunate that nobody in either vehicle was harmed, though I'm sure their cars' tires, antennas, and computer boxes are likely fried. Does insurance cover that? Questions for later. At least the cars didn't explode though. Personally, I was anxious because I thought they would, but I guess car materials are more durable than I thought they actually were. One thing's for sure though, I'm much less likely to go outside when there's a thunderstorm ravaging the streets. Better safe than sorry. Now it's time for the day's best pick. Might not be a monster, but the subject of the following clip certainly reminds us of a movie and series' favorite brain-eating creature. Help. What would you do if you saw someone walking like this in the middle of the road? First thing I'd do is probably look around to see if there's any hidden cameras, as I figured the only way I'd come across someone like this if I were set on a prank show. Turns out that isn't the case. After YouTuber Alyssa Cross posted this on her channel, many comments came her way. One of them asked if she had stopped to see if the lady needed any assistance, as she had the gut feeling the woman was intoxicated on something strong. Cross responded that she did, however the woman quickly became angry, frightening Cross. Instead of insisting on helping, Cross left her for fear of her own safety. Personally, I'd have done the same, honestly. While helping someone is certainly nice, your own safety matters a bit more at the moment. I do fear that perhaps if the lady didn't ingest or take something on her own, maybe someone forced her to. You can only hope that Cross showed this to the police or whichever authority so someone could do a wellness check on her. Shadow person. Ghost sightings aren't new to any of us. Some of us have likely had our own supernatural encounters, whether we believe it to be so or not. Regardless, we get chills when these encounters occur. Really, it's no different when you're in the car and spot something you don't think you should even be seeing. Heck, it's probably scarier and more dangerous that way because some people might get themselves into an accident. Thankfully, this person managed to keep their cool. Otherwise, this entry may have been saved for another video. What would you do if you saw a specter while driving late at night? Really, it's almost a relief that it's just a silhouette. Imagine if you came across a headless one, like ones in Southeast Asian stories. It'd make me scream and potentially faint. Wait, you think I'm kidding? Go to your closest Asian friend and ask them to tell you about their ghost stories. Telling you, it's pretty intense. Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and you will get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it, it really works. Ghost car. Pretty insane. Not only are there ghost people, there are ghost cars as well. How many supernatural things do we need to keep track of? Take a look at this police chase. Appears that whoever is driving this vehicle had a fun and stressful time playing with the cops. Looking sort of like a scene out of one of the GTA games. Good thing he didn't pack some guns to go out blazing though. However, he did have other tricks up his sleeve. In just a moment, you're going to see the unexplainable. After a wild chase on and off the road, the police and the suspect finally go off the path onto the dirt one more time. You think he's about to snake his way out of sight again, but no, he actually does more than that. Somehow, by some miracle, he drives past a tall fence, only to not be seen again. How'd he do it? Did he borrow skills from Danny Phantom? Either way, we may never know. And boy, I hope I never come across something like this out in the streets. See you all next time!